Well, students, we've come to the end of EMMT 0405 Public Information Management course. I hope you've learned a lot from the course. Now, during our session, we talked about the skills needed to effectively communicate with the public before, during, and after an emergency. We talked about the science behind communication and the need to be familiar with different communication approaches and models so that you can select the best tool for the moment and the audience. We also talked about the need to plan for risk communication, including techniques and technology-based tools that will become effective. And we also talked about how to work well with the media to get your message across. But really, all of this knowledge is not enough to make you a successful communicator. You still need to practice. It's easy for us to sit back and play armchair quarterback, picking out the flaws in people who failed miserably in their communication, people like New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin and BP CEO Tony Hayward. But I hope that rather than just criticize them, we will learn from their mistakes. We don't know all of the details that led up to their communication failures, but these spokespersons really do highlight the need for planning and practice in risk communication. This is really an evidence-based profession that requires study, it requires the development of skills, and it requires planning and practice. Without those components, communication disasters are likely to occur, and that can damage your organization's credibility. It can hurt you financially, but most importantly, as we've talked about in this course, it can also put people at risk during your disaster response, and we certainly don't want that to occur. So if you walk away from this class remembering only 3 things, I hope that they are these 3. First, plan ahead. Think about what could happen, what could go wrong in your organization, and think about the questions that people will ask, and then develop answers to respond to those questions. Second, know your audience. Spend time learning what motivates them, find out what their behaviors are, what their past experiences are, and what their needs are. This knowledge will help you to select the best tools and communication pathways to reach them effectively with information, but also to listen effectively so that you can meet their communication needs during the crisis. And finally, practice. Planning and knowledge are vital to risk communication, but without practice, you run the risk of communication failure. Practice delivering your statements of empathy. Practice in front of a mirror or in front of a camera so that you can polish your nonverbal skills. And practice utilizing your key messages, no matter what tricks the media may throw your way. Practice makes perfect. Even the very best communicators still have room to grow and improve. Now, if your career takes you in a different path away from risk communication or public information, I'm confident that the skills you've learned in this course will still serve you well in life, because communication permeates every part of our professional and personal life. In fact, Dr. Vincent Covello used to tell the story of how he used risk communication principles during arguments with his wife. He would at times ask her to hold her thought while he ran to his filing cabinet to pick out the key messages that he needed for that particular discussion. Now, you guys may not find key messages useful in arguments with your spouse, but they are one of the most powerful tools for helping us focus our thoughts and words in order to communicate clear, concise, accurate information, especially during times of crisis. So effective communication is not going to be achieved by winging it, but rather by planning, by practice, and by utilizing key messages that you've spent time preparing in advance. I hope this course has made these concepts clear to you, and I wish you all the best in your future careers.